Welcome, Ascenders and Relocators. Okay, there's zero fragmentation in the spiritual sanctuaries, right? This is Clarity Guru, and we're going to talk about in this video the question raised in the last video. Will it last? Will the spiritual sanctuary last? Will the non-negation that I see everywhere, the constructs not being, no evidence of negation of those, will that last? Beautiful question. Answer is yes, it will. Because this non-negation is the effects of the idea of not trying to create a new identity, of not trying to negate. Now, ask yourself on planet Earth, looking back, did the evidence of negation on every single thing you ever saw or experienced there, did that last? Did that last, or did it suddenly stop and there's no evidence of negation? No, it lasted. It was continual presence of evidence of negation. Okay, always. So that lasted because it's the effects of the idea of trying to create a new identity. That's how the effects have to play out there. Whereas the effects here are effects of a different idea. Okay, that's key. So effects always have to be true to the idea. Okay, there's no way you can separate the idea and the effects of the idea. Even the idea that you can separate them, the effects of that idea are not separate from the idea. So, yes, it will last. You will see that there will not be the evidence of negation as you view your surroundings, as you view your environment. The feeling is that there's no evidence of negation. Okay. And it's not something that, everything will go along suddenly beautifully and perfect, and then suddenly negation will creep in and start corrupting it. Okay? Let us address that fear here. Looking back on planet Earth and that entire setup there, the universe, the cosmos, that setup, there was a belief back then that somehow everything was perfect in that universe, until a tiny mad idea crept into that and began corrupting it. Okay, that is not true. That is a extreme falsity. Okay, what happened was, bear with me here because very important, the idea of trying to create a new identity from its very beginning, instantly, it has the dualistic dynamic of construction destruction. But bear in mind that in order to destroy something, you must first construct something. Okay, so it seemed as if construction happened first. There's all this constructs arose, and we have this memory of that. And we think, oh, there's all this constructs there, and it didn't seem like there was any destructiveness. And then suddenly destruction started happening. Where did it come from? So we think that destruction must have come from a different idea. It did not. It came from the same idea. But constructs have to happen. Construction has to happen first in order for then destruction to happen. Let's take the example of a house, bulldozing a house, demo a house. If you let's say you really want to demo a house, I say that's my goal. I got to demo a house to prove that houses can be demoed. Okay, so first you have this beautiful house built. Now you have all the workers working on it, and they build this beautiful house, and you might walk into that house and look and say, "Oh my gosh, what a beautiful house! I love it." And then suddenly you hear the engines and the rumbling, and you look out and you see there's bulldozers coming in and say, what happened? Where did that come from? That's not part of the plan. And then the bulldozer bulldozes it, and you feel so terrible, and you say, my gosh, my house was destroyed. And he said, it used to be so nice when I first saw it. I was so happy and everything, and how could this happen? Be a little bit wise here and look back and realize if the goal was to just bulldoze a beautiful home, first you have to construct the beautiful home, and of course you're going to see the beautiful home first, and then it's going to be destroyed. The destructiveness was there from the very beginning. Okay, it didn't just creep in later. It's not part of a different idea. It is the intrinsic part of the idea of trying to create a new identity is that you must destroy the previous identity. You must negate it. You must try to find a way. But first, you have to construct something. In order to give evidence that there is a way, you must construct something first, and then you wipe it out. You destroy it, negate it. So to bring us back to this spiritual sanctuary here, where there is no evidence of negation, the dynamic of not trying to create a new identity from the very beginning has no negation in it. Okay? What is to be negated? You're not trying to create a new identity. Therefore you don't need to give evidence that you can negate your true identity. There isn't a dualistic dynamic there. Okay? So it's not like all this beautiful non-negation has arisen only so it can be negated. That's not it. Okay, the only quote-unquote negation is when you reach a point when you're so absolutely attuned with the felt presence of your true identity that you regain full confidence in your capacity to choose ideas. Okay, and at that point you will choose other ideas. The idea of not trying to create a new identity is a remedial idea for the idea of trying to create a new identity, because that's continuity. But it's not the only idea that you're going to keep forever. Eventually you can say, hey, I feel 100%, I got 100% faith, trust, confidence in spirit, mind, and idea, and God again. And I know that now I can not be the slightest bit scared or worried about choosing new ideas, and therefore I'm going to go on into glorious adventure of choosing new ideas. But that's not a negation of this idea. It is simply choosing another idea. Within the idea of not trying to create a new identity, there is no negation. So there will not be a tiny, crazy idea creeping into the spiritual sanctuaries that will begin corrupting it and bringing negation into it. No, won't happen. Not possible. Okay? So, this is a preview of the kind of teaching you can expect. We're going rather rapidly now because the time is short. I remember I played golf yesterday and I was hurrying, and the shots weren't so great because I was in a hurry, but still got through it, right? So I know this is rapid for you because I have to meet the time constraints of the video, and also you got a busy life. But I'm just showing you that it is possible to have it very clear, and in the spiritual sanctuaries, we'll go over it nice and slow. Nice and slow, okay? And you'll gradually piece it all together. A cohesive picture will emerge for you, okay? I've done it right here in this world, okay, during these times of unbelievable meltdown and stress in the world. In a spiritual sanctuary where it's so peaceful and no evidence of negation, and you will have just natural contemplation there, and you'll easily be able to piece it together. Give yourself some time to do it, but you'll be able to do it. So don't worry about that. Okay, Ascenders and Relocators, this is Clarity Guru saying I will see you next video.